Well, let's turn to the war in Ukraine. Because the United Nations has said the country is breaking international law in the way it prosecutes people accused of collaborating with Russia. Since the full-scale war, there have been roughly 1,800 convictions ranging from leaking military secrets to simply justifying the invasion. Online, our BBC Ukraine correspondent James Waterhouse reports from the east of the country. Collaboration hurts Ukraine. In the village of Rozar last year, 2 local men off the Russians about the funeral of a Ukrainian soldier. The invaders then hit it with a missile, killing 59 people. MPs voted quickly to make collaboration a crime in 2022 with Russia's full-scale invasion to prevent tragedies like these. This is Liman, a town bludgeoned by occupation, liberation and fighting. When the Russians arrived, Dimitro, an electrician, volunteered to restore power to the town. The Russians said I had to work for them or not at all. I was afraid they would punish me and my family. But when Liman was liberated 6 months later, he was arrested after admitting to helping the Russians. Dimitro was handed a suspended sentence and banned from working as an electrician across town. Volmir is adjusting to life without his wife, Tatiana, who's in prison. She was a neighborhood volunteer where she liaised with local officials under occupation. She continued and was later sentenced to 5 years by Ukrainian court. If I were weak, I would burst into tears, he tells me. But what about his wife? We were granted permission to meet her at this prison 300 kilometers away. Tatiana is held in this separate block for convicted collaborators. She claims she was just giving out firewood. Prosecutors argued she'd illegally taken a job with the Russians. What's my crime? Fighting for my people. I did not work for the Russians. I survived and found myself in a prison. Critics, including the United Nations, are concerned the law is problematic because it is vaguely worded, and in terms of compliance with international humanitarian law, it does criminalize acts that could be lawfully compelled by the occupying authority. But the message from one of the MPs who drew up the collaboration law is blunt. I strongly disagree with such a statement that this legislation is in bridge of international law. What about those who act under duress? Might be saying what they need to do just survive. Look, the law is pretty much clear, saying that collaboration is a crime if you do it voluntary, not under like direct pressure. For now, this collaboration law is seen as necessary for tough justice if it means Ukraine can be free of Russia's grasp. James Waterhouse, BBC News. El Man.